Alright, let's kick things off by talking about four pretty simple text functions: trim, upper, lower, and proper. Starting with trim, basically all it does is remove any leading or trailing spaces from a text string. And while that might seem like kind of a trivial thing for a function to do, it's actually really important. And that's because if two text strings are identical, except for the fact that one has a trailing space at the end, they'll look exactly the same to you, but Excel will treat them as totally different values. So that can totally wreak havoc on things like lookup or match functions that are trying to find two exact values to match. So trim will make them equivalent, and honestly it's a nice best practice to get in the habit of using just to standardize your text fields. Lower, upper, and proper, these are just capitalization based functions. So lower will just convert the characters of a reference array to all lowercase, upper will convert all of the characters to uppercase, and proper will capitalize the first letter in each word of a text string. So let's dive into Excel and see what we've got to work with. I've opened the section 6 text functions Excel file, so go ahead and open that up and follow along. Just one tab here, it's called raw data, and it looks like we've got some names here: gender, address, city, state, zip, email, telephone, and national ID. So we're going to be working exclusively with this one tab and this one file as we work through this section. So our first challenge is to create two new fields for first and last name, and what we want to do is convert to proper case and also trim out any potential leading or trailing spaces. And as you can see, these all look just like normal first names, but if you select any cell and click in the formula bar, you'll see that Jennifer, for instance, has a trailing space after it. Chad does not, Susan does not, Wayne does, but as you can see, it's really manual, and the only way to tell is by actually clicking into the value of each cell. So what we're going to do is create a new column and just right click column B, and I'm going to do insert, and I'm going to call this new column proper first name. And so I'm going to start with just the proper function, so equals proper, open up the parenthesis, select A2, and close it. As you can see, that converts Jennifer in all caps to Jennifer with just a capital J. Now I don't need to create a new column and take the trim of this version. I can just add trim to this and write both functions at once. So I'm going to say equals trim proper A2 and close the parenthesis. And then when I apply this down, Jennifer will no longer have a trailing space. So let's do the exact same thing after column D. I'm going to right click E, insert, call it proper last name, equals trim, parenthesis, proper, parenthesis, D2, and then close the two parentheses off, hit enter, and apply it down. There you go. So we've used proper to clean up the first name and the last name columns.